physically and mentally. I see a very tough player in person, and that's something that we really have, seen in him that's been a great trait.
What's his personality like?
Yeah, he's highly competitive. He's got great energy. He plays with an edge. He has a lot of traits that you really want in a player.
Chad, that's 2 weeks in a row for Gesicki really making an impact in the game. What are you seeing? What is the tape showing you as far as how he's evolved?
Yeah, I think the tape that's really showing up is his practice tape, because the practice tape is really transferring to the game. He's had 2 really good weeks of practice, and it really hasn't been a surprise that he's kind of taken that to the game. And, he's been able to really make some nice catches and kind of do it in a couple of different ways of where we've aligned him. And, I think he's making the most of his opportunities, and I think he's making the most of his opportunities on the practice field and really then doing that in the game.
Chad, it's 3 straight games for Devontae with a touchdown. What are you seeing from him, I guess, in the red zone more than?
Yeah, I mean, he's been consistent for us in that area. He's certainly somebody that I think that the quarterback has confidence in, and we have confidence in as a coaching staff. He's really worked hard to be more consistent in certain areas, and I know that he's also made the most out of his opportunities when he's had them, whether it's been in the red zone or it's been in the field.
That 3-tackle Isaiah Prince formation seemed to be successful for you guys. What was the brainchild behind that, and should we expect to see more of it going forward?
Yeah, I think anytime you can vary those things and add another element, whether it's a different personnel grouping or bringing in a tackle to play at the tight end spot. So I think it's something that is a work in progress. It's something that has allowed us to not only run the ball but also throw the ball from that. And I think that, as we look at all the personnel groupings and different combinations as we start the game plan, which we're doing right now for Pittsburgh, it helps to have a variety of those available to you.
And Isaiah Prince catch the football?
Yes, he can catch the football. That is the correct answer. Effectively. And he reports eligible on all of those.
In a similar number of dropbacks, Fitzpatrick sacked 6 times, Rosen sacked 16 times. Can you take me in the game a little bit and help me understand some of the things that enables Fitzpatrick to limit sacks?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of a lot of things. Certainly we were fortunate in this last game that we had really good protection from the offensive line, but I also think that Fitz does a really nice job of playing on time in the pass game and has great awareness and understanding of when he needs to get the ball out. And I think that his knowledge and understanding of the defensive scheme that he's facing is very helpful in anticipation of getting the ball out when he needs to. But I certainly think a lot of this, resulted from a combination of a lot of efforts from the offensive line protecting well to the running backs. Really, I mean, Mark was another one that protected really well in the game and did a nice job being physical. And that's, an area for Mark that's kind of unforeseen, but he does a really nice job for us in protection. The offensive line did a good job for us in protection. And then Fitz has a kind of an inner clock and just a good feel for, when to get the ball out and when to scramble.
Will Bame have to do a little bit less to help Ryan than, for example, Kilgore does when Josh is in the game?
Yeah, I thought Bame really handled everything really well from an operations standpoint. I think that's the biggest concern with the center is a center that hasn't played is all the things that are required from a communication to a snap, especially played in a road environment with some of the various cadences or lack of cadences, the silent cadence that we use. So I thought that Bame really handled himself very well in the game. I know Danny Kilgore was a great mentor to him during the week and really spent a lot of time with him on getting him to a place where we were confident in the game that he could handle all those things from an operations standpoint.
What's this season been like from an offensive line standpoint? I mean, 5 starting lineups in 6 games. How difficult is that on the coaching staff?
Yeah, I think that I don't see it as difficulty. I see it as a great challenge. It is, I stand here every week and we talk about a different combination, and that's okay because at the end we're trying to find the right combination of guys. And some of that is, due to unforeseen circumstances, whether it be injury or things like that. But it was nice to see a group play together in this game and play with some consistency and some continuity during the game. and have good communication. And you know, there's so much that it entails, from communication to combination blocks that they need to do together to be good at. But it's you know, I see it as a challenge, but it's very rewarding in the end if you can get the group to kind of mesh and play well together.
How has Bain looked to you from a coaching film standpoint in all of the roles that he's asked to do? I know he played center this week, but yeah, how had he been doing it, right guard?
Yeah, I think that probably one of his greatest strengths is his ability to function in a multiple position, you know, kind of role. And certainly one of his strengths is to play center, and that showed up on Sunday. But his preparation has always been very good. He works extremely hard at it. And I think you have to at the center position. It's the next quarterback out there. It really is. And you have to be on the same page with the quarterback. You have to be a great communicator with the other guys you're playing with. And then at the end of the day, you need to use the proper technique and be good enough to stand up to the physical part of blocking and all those things. So I think that it's a really hard position, and I think that he handled it very well being out there on Sunday.
What happened on the interception?
Yeah, I mean, it's there's a lot of plays in the game, that good, bad, or indifferent, and certainly that's something that we stress is the turnover part, and we had a route to Isaiah Ford, and maybe it was timing, route, all of the above, but at the end it's a turnover, and we don't want turnovers, and so we're moving on that one.
Could you help Ryan a little bit more on that?
I don't know. I mean, I think that there's a lot of things that have to be perfect on a play, whether it's the timing of the receivers, top of the route, or whether it's the protection or the timing of the throw. So, I think that at the end of the day, you're never going to put that on one person. Certainly, from a route perspective, there's certain things we want in a route. There's certain things we want from the timing of the quarterback. So, we're never, ever going to put it on one player, one person on any of those things. There's a lot of things we could have done better, and certainly that's what we're going to look to moving forward.
Is Josh Rosen receiving, I'm sorry, you go ahead. Okay. Is Josh Rosen receiving, okay. Is Josh Rosen?
Cameron, you're going to make sure you go. Cameron's up. Cameron's up.
Is Josh Rosen receiving typical backup NFL quarterback snaps, or are you trying to get him more than typical?
Oh, I think that, in that spot, it's a universal issue in the NFL that, you're just not going to receive a lot of reps. He's receiving as much as he can in that role, and I think he's made the best out of those reps at practice, and he's really doing a good job as far as following Fitz. When we're in a walkthrough, we're in a meeting setting, he's right there with us, and I think that you can gain a lot from the mental aspect of it, in addition to the limited snaps that the backup position does have, across the league. I think that's an issue, a challenge for those guys. But he's definitely done a good job at practice, and he's continuing to improve.
Have you had to have a talk with him? There's plenty of time, I promise. Have you had a chance to talk to him and keep his head kind of where it needs to be?
Yeah, Josh has really approached this like a professional. He really has, and I've been impressed with that. He had a really nice week of practice last week. His preparation was good. It was positive. So, that's what we ask of all of our players. Josh is no different. Just because of his role change, he's still going to approach it like a professional, and certainly that's what he's done.
So Fitz has made some good plays with his scrambling, but what goes through your mind when you see him approaching a defender, lower his shoulder, and be the one to initiate contact like he did on this touchdown?
It brings energy to the team. It really does. I think it's contagious when Fitz does that. Certainly, obviously, the health of our team is the most important, and for him to be in harm's way, sometimes you look out there and you don't want to be in that position, but it's certainly something that I know is shows his toughness, shows his competitive style of play, and I think it really helps our team when Fitz does what he does.
We all have a little fun with the magic, with this magic.
Yeah.
Of this game, but can you quantify that as far as what that part of this game does to the team, particularly the young players?
Yeah, no, I think that's also something that's really contagious through the team. I think that his ability to kind of play off schedule some and make some plays on his own is something he's always had the ability to do, and I know it's something that the team gets rallied up and rallies around him when he does that, and that's one of the traits that you really like about Fitz.
On the fake, go ahead, you follow.
You guys have kind of been, I guess, aggressive in your play calling and decision making. Some of it has been flow, with his onside kicks or fake punts, but you have done some on offense as well. What kind of goes into that mindset when you decide to be maybe more aggressive than the norm?
Yeah, I think that we always start the week in game plan and say we want to be aggressive. This week would be no different. So I think that some of the things that fall in the aggressive category are some special plays, and there are also some plays that might just not be in the trick category or special category. I think you can play really aggressive without always using those type of plays. And I think that there were times in the game where we were able to be aggressive with our play action game, and we established the run, and certainly that helped us. So I think that the word aggressive definitely comes up in our game planning. And whether it's something that we install as a special play or just something that we consider as an aggressive style of play, within the game is something we're always going to look to do.
Field goal, how much of that is something that you guys looked at as an opportunity to take advantage of a play you worked on, or was it just that opportune situation?
Yeah, I mean, Danny Crossman does a great job of trying to find, ways to have an edge in the kicking game. And certainly that was a great opportunity for us on offense when they converted that fake. And I know it's something that, the special teams here is very, very important. All of our players know that. The coaching staff is definitely very supportive of the kicking game. And when those guys can convert, and we've had some fakes with the punt fake in the previous game and the field goal fake this game, that brings great energy to the team. And, it's one that we have to play complementary football and take advantage of.
I saw Prince went to left tackle after Webb got hurt. Is that an indication that you would like to just allow Jesse to play a position he's very comfortable, which is right tackle?
Yeah, I think, again, like Omar was talking about with the combination and all that, the challenge. And I think it's something that's still, as I'm going to say, a work in progress, and we're still trying to find the right fit for everyone. Prince has allowed us to kind of look at some different combinations. Jesse, playing on the one side has been consistent for us in the last game, and we'll continue to, not look at that combination, but also other combinations, and we're just trying to find the right fit.
But as Pittsburgh, you guys have obviously had a whole offseason with Minka, and he's one of their key players on the team. How does that impact your game planning, knowing that he may know some of what you do and you may know what he does as well?
Yeah, I think that, whenever you have familiarity with a player that's been on your team previously, it's nice, but it's by no means, there's so many other factors that are involved in game planning and those things that, there's just so many challenges with this Pittsburgh group that, Mink is certainly a very good player and have a lot of respect for, but across the board, this is going to be a great challenge for us defensively, and, that's one we're going to have to work real hard on this week. You guys good? See ya.
Appreciate you. That was funny about Prince.